All right, so what you see right here, this is a prophecy written in Ezekiel 37. This is what we call the northern and southern kingdom tribes coming together, which are the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So uh, today's lesson, we're going to speak about how the Latin, so-called Latinos and Native Americans slash Hispanics, they're also the Hebrew Israelites according to the scriptures. When you also read the book of Psalms, was that 147 where it says, the Lord only shows his word unto Jacob, right? So the Lord, he only shows his word to a Hebrew Israelite, man. So if you're not a Hebrew Israelite, hey, there's no way you will be able to understand the law of Moses and the prophecies of the Heavenly Father and His Son. So, hey, before we get started, we are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Scriptures, Southern and Northern Kingdom, and we are the Hebrew Israelite prophets. We come out here week in, week out, to prophesy the downfall of this wicked society, wicked kingdom known as modern day Babylon, modern day Rome, modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. And we're also out here to edify our nation, man, and the nation of Israel, the elect. Okay, we're out here for them only, man, and that's it. So, hey, before we get started, we give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakak, Radash. We give double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, which are the men that taught us 100% truth according to the law and the prophets. So, yeah, man, hey, there's an article that we're bringing out, okay, this past week, about how in Puerto Rico, which that's the tribe of the so-called Puerto Ricans, right, the tribe of Ephraim, Aparayam, there was around 800 artifacts that were found, okay, in the territory of Ephraim, man. So we're gonna go into the article and bring some precepts, and then roll in the Holy Spirit, the Rakak Kodash.
I'm gonna bring up that precept
Yep.
that you brought up earlier. It's the book of Psalms 147, verse 19.
Yep.
He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. Verse 20. He had not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Adawan Yahweh.
You see, so the Heavenly Father, He only shows or reveals. We want to get that in Amos
Yes.
3 and 7. He reveals, okay, his secrets to the servants, the prophets, and through the prophets they reveal the secrets to the men of the Lord, okay, the apostles, okay, the young brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the Adawan Yahweh would do nothing, but he revealed his secrets unto his servants, the prophets.
Yeah, so the servants of the Most High are the prophets, and the job of a prophet is to come out to the streets, like Yahushua told his disciples, go to the highways and hedges, and command them to come into the marriage, man.
Bid them to the marriage.
Bid them to the marriage, because hey, when you give out different what are those
Invitations?
Invitations to the wedding, okay, you gotta make sure they come clean too, right? With their three-piece suit. But some of them ain't gonna come. Hey, I can't make it because such and such. So out of the 500 invitations that you sent out, maybe only 150 are gonna come, and those 150 represent the elect who are gonna be part of that marriage and get delivered. Right?
800 ancient stones with Hebrew writing in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Authentic.
Yeah. So it's a question. Is it authentic? Yeah, we're gonna find out. So let's open up with Luke 8:17.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 8. It's the book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 17. For nothing is secret that should not be made manifest, neither anything hid that should not be known and come abroad.
Yeah. So these 800 artifacts that were once hid, they were hid from the masses in modern day times. You want to get Colossians 1 and 26 to back up Luke 8:17, man, because the Most High is gonna start revealing, okay, artifacts and ancient history to be manifested in the last days, so the believers can increase their faith. Go ahead.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 1, verse 26. Even the mystery which had been hid from ages and from generations, but now is made manifest to his saints.
See, man, you see the mysteries of the Most High. That includes the artifacts, ancient history, prophecy. Okay, who are the true Hebrew Israelites? Especially especially who are those who are the lost 10 tribes, right? Because a lot of these people out in the world, they're still searching for who are the lost 10 tribes of Israel. A lot of them say they're people from Europe, people from the Chinese. Everybody has their own belief of who are the Northern Kingdom tribes. Hey, but now in the last days, like the brother read in Colossians 1:26, the mystery that has been hid from ancient is now manifest to the saints. Okay,
Or
go
the
ahead.
saints.
Yeah, the saints are the Israelites, man, and none else. Yeah, let's get that. Let's get a precept to back that up. Psalms 50 and 5, man.
I got it right here. It's the book of Psalms 148, verse 13. Let them praise the name of the Adonai Yahweh, for his name alone is excellent. His glory is above the earth and heaven. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints,
Yeah.
even of the children of Israel. A people near unto him, praise ye the Adonai Yahweh.
Yeah, a people near unto him, praise the Yahweh. I want to get Jeremiah 31 and 1 out.
Jeremiah 1 and 1.
Yeah, Jeremiah 1 and 1. To see who are the Lord's people and who is his firstborn. Because what does it mean when the scripture says the firstborn? Which means his begotten, like Yahweh Shai, that was the begotten of the Most High.
He was the first spirit among everybody else.
And also, for example, who's the firstborn of Northern Kingdom?
That would be, it was Manasseh, but then it switched to Ephraim.
Exactly. We're going to read that, Jeremiah 31 and 1.
Oh, 31 and 1.
Yep. So the beloved or the firstborn of Southern Kingdom, that's Judah. And then the firstborn of Northern Kingdom, that's Ephraim. We're going to prove that.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 1. At the same time, say the Adonai Yahweh, will I be the Yahweh of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. Thus say the Adonai Yahweh, the people which were left of the sword found grace in the wilderness, even Israel, when I went to cause him to rest.
Hmm?
The Adonai Yahweh had appeared of old unto me, saying, Yea, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore, with loving kindness have I drawn thee. Again, I will build thee, and thou shalt be built.
That's Jeremiah 31 1.
Yeah.
Try Jeremiah 30 and 1. Well, that's a beautiful precept too. It speaks about how Ephraim is my firstborn. Let me see. Try next one. 31:13. Oh, check your phone out. It's a lot. I remember it was somewhere around Jeremiah. It spoke about how the firstborn of Northern Kingdom, that's the Ephraimites, Apariyam, which means double fruit. Either Jeremiah 30 and 1 or Jeremiah 13 and 1. But yeah, man, hey, we're the Israelites, man, and the curses also prove that we're the Israelites. Deuteronomy 28 chapter, Leviticus 26 chapter, the Gospels, and Yahushua said, and other sheep I have who are not of this fold, them shall I also bring. And those sheep, hey, are the lost sheep of Israel, which are the lost 10 tribes, which are scattered amongst the heathen as well. And the main bulk of the Northern Kingdom, they're here in America, in Babylon the Great. And we got brothers that are in Puerto Rico who are prophesying the downfall of Esau, Edom.
31.
Also 31 and 9?
31
And 9, oh, okay. So it was the same chapter?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 9.
Nine,
They should
yeah.
come with a weeping, and with supplications will I lead them.
So what are we doing now? We're weeping, right?
Weeping.
Isaiah 58 and 1, cry aloud, spare not. So we're spiritually weeping. Also physically, there's times when Akim, we're isolated at the house. All of a sudden you start, damn, Lord, when you gonna come back? You ask the Lord, damn, hey, Ezra was crying, bro. There's a scene where Ezra, he was weeping for his people.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 9. They should come with weeping, and with supplications
Yeah.
will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by the rivers of waters in a straight way, wherein they should not stumble. For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn.
There you go, man. So Ephraim, that's the firstborn of the Most High. Like the brother broke it down. First, it was Manasseh, right?
Manasseh.
Was he the oldest one?
He was the oldest. He was the first.
He is the oldest one. According to the our customs, the oldest son receives the heritage. But in the spirit, what happened? I believe that was it Moses, or was it Isaac, Jacob, that put his hand on
It was
Manasseh's
Joseph,
head?
it was it was Jacob that did it for Joseph's son.
Oh yeah, kind of left the water. Yeah, it was Jacob. I think he put his left on Ephraim.
Yeah. They were like
Manasseh?
this, but he went like this.
Yeah, he went like that. And that's the spirit, bro, because he made an X. That X represents the last Hebrew character, okay, which is the wa, exemption from judgment. Okay, so hey, the firstborn of Northern Kingdom, it's Ephraim. And that's the topic of today's lesson. Okay, the tribe of Ephraim. So let's go into Genesis chapter 49 and try to get straight to the point, going into the blessing of Joseph, which is Ephraim.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 22.
Start at 1 down to verse 2, and then skip to that one. The water.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons, said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
He gathered his sons together, and he prophesied unto them what's going to happen in the last days, and what blessings they were going to obtain. Go ahead.
Gather yourselves together, and hear ye, sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel, your father.
Yep. Right.
Verse 22. Joseph is a fruitful bot, even a fruitful bot by a well,
Yeah, what's up?
whose branches run over the wall. The archers have sorely grieved him, and shot at him, and hated him.
Yeah, the archers have surely agreed with him. Who's the archer? Speaking about Esau, because Esau he received the blessing through Cain, Tubal Cain, through Esau, which is the sword. Go ahead.
But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty Yahweh of Jacob.
And what's happening now, the Lord is making our band strong against the archer through what? Through Ezekiel 37, combining the tribes together through the word, which is Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel, even by the Yahweh of thy fathers, who shall help thee, and by the Almighty, who shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lieth under, blessings of the breast and of the womb.
Yeah.
The blessings of thy father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors, unto the outmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separated from his brethren.
Yeah, so also going into Joseph, when you go into the territory of Puerto Rico, it means what in the English, rich port.
Rich port.
Because a lot of the minerals, a lot of gold. When King Solomon sent his Marines to the Americas around 100 BC, he didn't just send them to Aslan or Arsaret, he also sent them to the different Caribbean islands, the Bahamas, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago. He sent them to Puerto Rico, Cuba, Haiti, and República Dominicana. So all these Latin American countries, they're full of abundance. Now let's go into Obadiah chapter 1, where it says, "In the house of Joseph shall be a fire." Another blessing that the Lord gave the northern kingdom. So whenever you read Joseph, that means Ephraim. Ephraim and Joseph are correlated amongst each other.
This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble.
See that? So Israel, which is sometimes in the scriptures symbolic to southern kingdom, and then Joseph is the northern kingdom. Israel are going to come together and take down Esau. Okay?
And they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the outer one Yahweh has spoken it.
Yeah, so the prophecy concerning Esau, Edom, after 1,000 years of him being in slavery, because the main elites that are going to be in captivity are who they call the Red Shield Edomites, which are the Rothschilds. And you're going to see Donald Trump in captivity. Or who else are you going to see? You're going to see Bill Gates in captivity, Elon Musk. Okay, the richest Edomites on the top of the pyramid scheme, they're going to be in captivity. And then when the Mosai gives spiritual powers to his people, they're going to put Esau down. Okay, put him in slavery. Go ahead.
No,
That's it for that. Okay, let's go back to Ezekiel 37. Start at verse 1. Start to read the whole chapter. Lord willing. Got any precepts here? No precepts here.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 1. The hand of the outer one Yahweh was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the outer one Yahweh, and set me down in the midst of the valley which was full of bones.
Yeah, so that valley that was full of dead bones, that's the valley is symbolic to America. And we could prove that through the book of Job, where it speaks about the land of darkness, darkness itself, and also Psalms 23, the valley of the shadow of death. So the valley represents the lowest. Matter of fact, here in America, one of the hottest territories, it's called Death Valley. Okay, very hot. When it's a very hot territory, you can't live amongst that territory. It's very hot, humid. You get a skin cancer, and there's any trees, barely you see cactuses. So this is some America symbolic to the Death Valley, man, that Ezekiel wrote about. Go ahead, on.
Verse 2, and caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry.
Yeah, they were very dry. When something's dry, it means it doesn't have water. It doesn't have minerals. Go ahead, on.
Verse 3, and he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Adonai Yahweh, thou knowest. Again he said unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry. Again he said unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Adonai Yahweh. Thus say the Adonai Yahweh unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live.
And what is that breath? Let's get second Ezra. You can type it in. Just type in Adam, breath of life. That breath is symbolic to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, man, which is the law of Moses and the prophecies. Then the bones represent the house of Israel. Because our people, they were once dead. The elect, they were once dead, but now the Lord woke them up through the word. If it's not there, he goes to get the one in Job. There's one in Job speaks about the Most High is giving me breath. And that's what we're doing. We're giving breath to our people. It's like when somebody passes out, you give them what? CPR. Give them breath. Give them oxygen through what? Through your mouth.
That one?
Yep. Come on, go ahead on.
It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 3, verse 5.
If you may, brother, verse before that, and then go to that verse, and then the one after too. So 3 precepts.
Okay, so I'll start from the beginning.
Come on.
It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 3, verse 1. And the 13th year after the ruin of the city, I was in Babylon, and lay trouble upon my bed, and my thoughts came up over my heart. For I saw the desolation of Zion, and the wealth of them that dwell at Babylon. And my spirit...
That's a beautiful precept too, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, because this same account that Ezekiel was going through. Okay.
Verse 3. 2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 3. And my spirit was sore moved, so that I began to speak words full of fear to the Most High, and said, O Adonai Yahweh, who bearest rule, thou speakest at the beginning, when thou didst plan the earth, that thyself alone, and commandest the people, and gavest a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thy hands.
Yeah, which means Adam when he was created by the Elohim, which are the angels, he didn't know any better. He just knew about just being there. He didn't know about righteousness. But then the Lord put him the breath of life. Go ahead, right?
And didst breathe into him the bread of life,
Yeah.
and he was made living before thee.
Yeah.
And thou leadest him into paradise, which thy right hand hath planted.
And what is paradise according to the breakdown? The paradise is symbolic to the Garden of Eden. Right?
Thou leadest him into paradise, which thy right hand hath planted, before ever the earth came forward.
It says which thy right hand has planted. It was that right hand. That's your house shine, man.
Verse 7. And unto him thou gavest commandments to love thy way, which he transgressed.
I'll stop right there. It says you gave commandments to love thy way. Was that precept John 14, 15, 16? If you love me, keep my commandments. So how do you show true love? Okay, to the Most High, you keep His commandments. Now we can't keep the commandments 100% because we're in captivity. We're in these dead bodies, right? But we keep them to the best of our ability to show our faith. Like it tells you in the book of James, faith without works is dead. Man, you got to have both. And how you show your faith, you try to keep the Sabbath, you try to keep the dietary law, you try to keep the different ceremonial laws. You rehearse the righteous acts. Okay, but ultimately, it all comes down to 2 commandments: love the Most High with all your heart, and love thy brother as thyself. So how you love the Most High, you show it through how you treat your brother, because that brother is like you treating your house shine, man. Go ahead,
And unto him thou gavest commandments to love thy way, which which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointed dead in him, and in his generations, of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds.
Everybody came out of Adam. You had Shem, Ham, Japheth, Noah, Arphaxad, okay, Peleg, Ibar, Hebrew. Go ahead, Ak.
Verse 8, and every people walked after their own will, and did wonderful things before thee, and despised thy commandments.
Yeah, so what it means to walk after your own will is you walk after the flesh, man. Meaning you forget about the Most High. If you may, brother, that's in Sirach. Just type in Sirach, the beginning of pride. Because that's
Beginning of the prize when one leaves.
the part of that's the one. So how you forget about the Most High, how you walk after your own lust, is you depart from the precepts. And also in the book of Proverbs, it speaks about pride goeth before destruction. And that's what the Most High is going to destroy America, because they're very powerful, bro.
The book of Ecclesiastic is also known as Sirach, chapter 10, verse 13. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that had it shall pour out abominations. And therefore the Adawan Yahweh brought upon them strange calamities, and overthrew them utterly.
Yeah, that's one. Let's get one more. Also in Sirach, it says the beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High.
It was one verse up. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from Yahweh, and his heart is turned away from his maker.
And your heart, that's not your literal heart. You know, how can your physical heart stay away from your maker, who's always there, in the middle of the chest? Yeah, the heart is symbolic to your mind. The mind, the Hebrew is la'ab. Okay, that's where you have your thought patterns. Can you read that one more time, Mark?
Yeah. The one of pride?
Yeah, and that's why the Lord is going to take down Esau, man, because he's very, like it tells you in the scriptures, Habakkuk, I think it's the 2nd chapter, because he is a proud man, neither keep it at home.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from Yahweh, and his heart is turned away from his maker.
There you go, man. So that's solely speaking about our people, man, because our people have departed from the Most High, like it tells you in Isaiah 1:3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the donkey his master's crib, but Israel doesn't know, my people don't consider. See, our people don't want to be royalty, bro. You tell them that they're the Israelites, that the Most High is going to come and save them and give them deliverance, give them a kingdom, give them paradise like he did to Adam. Our people don't want that. So the people that don't want paradise, the Lord's going to have to get rid of them, and after about 1,000 years or so, they're going to come back in the kingdom, okay, and come out of the loins of Israelite that wants to rule. Okay,
2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 10. And it came to pass in every of them, that as death was to Adam, so was the flood to these. Nevertheless, one of them thou leftest, namely Noah, with his household, of whom came all righteous men. And it happened that when they that dwell upon the earth began to multiply, and had God in them many children, and were a great people, they began again to be more ungodly than the first.
Yeah, so after Noah, after the flood, there was Shem, Ham, Japheth. Ham was wicked. Japheth was wicked. But then Shem, he's like, hey, I'm going to keep the Lord's commandments. And then after Shem, I think that was the account of Genesis 10 chapter. You had the Tower of Babel, where the Lord, he confused Nimrod's kingdom. He confused all the languages. He scattered them abroad. But he only kept the ancient Hebrew to the Shemites. That's where we get the word Sham. A lot of these small hats, they call, I think Yahweh, they call him Hashim, which means just a name. And that's just a title. Go ahead on.
Verse 13. Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them, whose name was Abraham.
Yep. So from the lineage of Shem, you fast forward around, I think that's 14 generations, you start getting Abraham. Abraham had 2 sons. He had Ishmael, the so-called Arab people, and then he also had Isaac, which brother's going to break it down. Go ahead, Art.
Him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showest thy will, and made an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed.
Yeah, and that covenant at the Most High, it's crazy, bro, because how Abraham got blessed, he got blessed at the age of 99, bro. He got blessed when he was still uncircumcised. See? So that's a blessing that the Most High gave him, even though Abraham didn't keep the law of circumcision. Go ahead,
Verse 16. And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob.
Is this in
Esau.
Ezra's?
Yeah.
That's your part. Go ahead,
And unto him thou gavest Isaac.
So even the Apocrypha breaks it down for you. Go ahead,
And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau.
Jacob and Esau. And after Jacob and Esau had sons too, right?
Yeah.
But what about Jacob? Go ahead,
As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee and put by Esau, and so Jacob became a great multitude.
You want to stop right there, I want to get Hosea 1 and 10. It says that Jacob he received a great multitude. Let's see what that great multitude is.
Yeah, this is the book of Hosea chapter 1, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea,
That's that great multitude. Go ahead.
which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Yeah, Esau has something called a census. You know, he goes, he sends agents to your house. You know, they knock, like, hello, you just came here to do a census. How many in the household? Well, obviously it's 5, right? 5, 7. And Esau has what they have it's called the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. They check how many Israelites there is. But you can't, man. You can't number Israel, man. Go ahead,
And it should come to pass.
So, like, what happened to I believe this was David, right?
Yeah, David
Charged
numbered it, and then he got they even one of his men told him not to do it, but he still still put the spirit on him to put it to do it.
Almost like got mad, right?
He got mad, and then he told him, "What do you want? There's 3 things you want. Either
Give him 3 options.
I gave him 3 options. Either I kill half of Israel, or I give you a famine." Or I make you always run away from your enemies.
That's I think he chose a famine, right?
No, he chose the Israel getting pestilence, and a lot of Israelites died.
Hey man, as a man of the Lord, that's a hard call to. Hey,
Yeah.
damn, what option?
And then he got down on his knees and prayed right when the angel was gonna slay him. We saw the angel too of the Lord.
Oh, that King David. Damn.
Yeah, the Most High repented of it. Hey, stop! He told his angel to stop, but the angel wouldn't handle business.
Damn. Okay, so he chose to destroy half of Israel.
No, he told him, I'll give pestilence for 3 days. 3 days or 3 months.
Yeah.
And out of there, like, Israel was getting destroyed, getting killed. A lot of people died of that.
In those 3 days.
Yeah, or if not, it was going to be famine, 3 months of famine. Or it was going to be like him running away from his enemies, from his kingdom. Yeah, he was going to rule.
Damn, that's hard.
I mean, he'll be king, but he'll be like, running away from his enemies.
And that's crazy because that actually happened to David, bro, for 40 years. He ran away from his. I mean, you know what? He didn't really run away, but he was at war for 40 days. Hey, because only, like it tells you in Proverbs, that the wicked flee when no man pursueth. So King David wasn't wicked because he fled from Saul. He was using wisdom. Go ahead,
Oh, for Hosea?
Yeah, Hosea 1 and 10, and then after you read that, try to get the one in Revelation about the multitude that couldn't be numbered.
Hosea chapter 1, verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea.
Hey, right here in San Diego, we have a beach called Pacific Beach, right? And you go to the beach, there's a lot of sand. Put your hand inside that sand, you get a bunch. You can't even count that, bro. That's about 2 billion right there.
Which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living Yahweh.
Yeah, because in this captivity, man, okay, a lot of people that don't believe that the blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans are not Israelites. That's an example of you are not the Lord's people. You know, but now that we're coming out here, we're saying that we are the Lord's people. And the Most High, he approves. He knows that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans are the lost tribes of Israel, man. We're out here scattered mainly amongst America and also amongst the heathen.
Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations.
There you go, Hosea 1 and 10. You can't number Israel. Go ahead.
Of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands.
Palms, victory. White robes represents their sins have been forgiven.
And cry with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our Yahweh, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb, which is Yahweh Shah.
So who is salvation for? Hey, there's a lot of precepts we can bring. Luke 131. Matthew 1 and 21, Acts 5 and 38. No, Acts chapter 5 verse 30 on down to 32. We don't have to bring those, but that's for another lesson. But now let's try to go back to the article concerning Ephraim. Let's try to read the first paragraph and then bring the precept. So again, so-called Puerto Ricans, the tribe of Ephraim. Okay, all the Boricuas. Where I was going into the Hebrew, the word Boricua or Boricua, that's where we get the word Barak. Barak, which means blessed. Barak. Lisa putting them chemtrails in.
800 ancient stones with Hebrew writing in Puerto Rico. Authentical?
Yeah, authentical. Yeah, that's the question. Are they authentic? Well, let's find out.
Professor Ramos holding an Aguevana stone.
Can you show the picture, bro, to the group chat? That's not the group chat, but the StreamYard. So that's Professor Ramos, which that's an Israelite. That's a Jake. You can also see his beard too.
Yeah.
All right, Jake. Why is Jake? Go ahead.
A remnant of an ancient stone, 20 and 800, made its way halfway across the world, solving a 3,500-year-old mystery.
So what is a ancient stone from the Middle East doing here in the Western Hemisphere, bro? The only way to for it to travel from an ancient time to the Americas was through an airplane. Nah, walking, no. A jet, no. It's through what they call ships or boats. Go ahead.
A remnant of an ancient stone, 20 of 800, made its way halfway across the world, solving 3,500 years old mystery. What did these stones whisper about the pre-Columbian indigenous people of the island of Puerto Rico? After rigorous academics testings, anthropologists, historians, and academics, and millions of Puerto Ricans finally have scientific evidence that reveals the language of the stones.
And what is that language? Go ahead, keep reading on.
Growing up in the mountains of Boriken, Puerto Rico, my grandfather told me about some very unique stones which were part of our ancient Taino Indian history.
Here, you made brother Deuteronomy 32 and 7. You know, because how do you find out about history, about a myth or a story? You talk to your grandpa, right? Your grandma, okay, your uncle, because they know about the history that took place before you were born.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
So that
elders, grandfather.
So how you find out about your ancient history? First of all, the scriptures. That's your grandpa. When the physical form, and you got to talk to your grandparents. Like Ramos did, the professor. He spoke to one of his grandpas, right? It says right there.
Yeah. Growing up in the mountains of Boriken, Puerto Rico, my grandfather told me about some very unique stones, which were part of our ancient Taino Indian history. These rare stones were in the care of one of our greatest principal chiefs, Cacique Aguayabana.
Stop right there, Rod, if you may. Go into the book of Peter and type in lively stones. Okay, because these stones are not just physical, but they're spiritual in the aspect that they represent the the northern kingdom of Ephraimites. Peter has spirits too, because what does the word Peter mean?
Book of First Peter.
The word Peter in Spanish, piedra.
Pedro.
Pedro, yeah, a stone. Go ahead, rock.
The book of First Peter chapter 2 verse 5. Yea, also, as lively stones are built up a spiritual house, and a holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Yahweh by Yahweh Shai.
See, so those stones that were found in Puerto Rico, that's spiritually symbolic to the tribe of Ephraim, which are those lively stones. Go ahead up. So this is the third paragraph around there?
Yeah.
Okay, third paragraph.
These rare stones were in the care of one of our greatest principal chiefs, Kaki Aguayabana. who, when Columbus stumbled across our Taino people in 1492,
Man.
was the principal chief of my homeland,
Yeah,
home
and-
island
and-
of Borican, Puerto Rico.
And how did Christopher Columbus and his men, which it's not just the Spaniards, but it was the French, the British,
It's pretty much all the European people.
or the European, the NATO and the EU, right? So they came to the Americas, and a good movie that represents the history of our people is called Conquest, I think it is.
Conquest of 1492.
1492 Conquest, and there's a scene where there's this Edomite on a ship, and they're asking about the compass, like where should we go, right? And then one of his guys, he's asking him about like, hey, trying to look for the tribe or something like that, and they mentioned the book of Ezra, second
Yeah,
Ezra.
yeah, that was 1492. It's
Yeah.
when Columbus was speaking to a priest.
Mhm. Oh, he was
And
a
they were-
priest.
Yeah, and he was talking. It's like, oh, I read with Ezra. It's like, don't listen to Ezra, or you're gonna get like hanged or choked up.
Yeah, because the book of Ezra is the 13th chapter. It gives you a brief history of how the Northern Kingdom came to the Americas. And I believe also there's a history where I think that was that priest or one of them, he actually spoke Hebrew. Because when they arrived to the Americas, the only way for Christopher Columbus to speak to Israelites to speak the language. You know, because Christopher Columbus, he didn't speak Hebrew, he spoke what they call Latin. Because back in the ancient times, we spoke Latin, Greek, and what else? Hebrew. Hebrew, Latin, and Greek.
Yes, it's called Conquest. 1492 Conquest of Paradise.
Yeah, conquest of paradise. Hey, another word for Arsareth is paradise. And we just read it too in the book of Second Ezra, where they read about how Adam received the commandments for paradise. I believe there was a quote too that when Columbus arrived, he called Arsareth paradise. Like, damn, look at all these trees, the gold, the different stones, people, how they act against each other, behave well with one another. And that's why Esau, he wanted to conquer this land, take over, because he saw that, damn, it's better than the Middle East.
Yeah.
Okay.
Knowledge of these stones first came to light when a very sick Taino woman who had tried everything from indigenous herbal remedies to ceremonies lay on her deathbed, compelled to tell a secret her family had carried from generations.
Yeah, and that woman, though she was physical, she represents spiritual wisdom. If you may, brother, real quick, Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 12. That Taina woman represents wisdom too, spiritually. Because she gives secrets, right? That's what wisdom does. She reveals secrets to certain men, and those men are the Israelite men.
You said 8 and 12?
Yeah.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 8 verse 12. I wisdom dwell with prudence and find out knowledge with witty inventions.
Yeah, because I was reading another article too that there was a lot of Harvard professors that try to hide the fact that those stones were fake. They're like, oh, those are not fake. Don't worry about it. So they closed the case for like 2-3 years, and then Professor Ramos came on the scene. He's like, nah, we got to check scientifically, check the carbon footprint to see how back it dates. And in conclusion, it came to the point where these stones, they dated back to the times of King Solomon. It's crazy, bro. Telling you that Esau is always trying to, hide the fact that we're the Israelites, man. He literally went 30 plus trillion in debt to hide us from who we really are, man. Right.
Knowledge of these stones first came to light when a very sick Taino woman who had tried everything from indigenous herbal remedies to ceremonies lay on her deathbed, compelled to tell a secret her family had carried for generations. She sent runners to find someone in the church who would listen.
Stop right there, Axelot. Go to Habakkuk, chapter, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. And also the one, I believe that same chapter speaks about a runner. Runneth he that readeth. And because the history of our people, man, we're very fit back in the ancient times. We had brothers that were very slim, very fast, So when the Mosai would have to send a message via a prophet, he will send his best soldiers, messengers, runners.
This is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3.
Mhm.
For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
Good one.
Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also, because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keeper at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as dead, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heap unto him all people. Verse 6. Should not all these take up a parable against him, and taunted proverbs against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that landed himself with thick clay?
There's one that says runneth, bro. They already bring it out. I think that's in Habakkuk. Let's see the first.
Want me to look for it?
Yeah, I think that was in Habakkuk. It spoke about because in Spanish it speaks about manda ese mensaje como un corredor. Yeah, I just type in runneth and then Proverbs. Because that goes hand in hand with the article how they send runners, to go tell the secrets, something like that.
Run it?
Yeah, run it. And then type in Habakkuk. See what comes out. It's that one, right? It's the same chapter you were reading on.
He may run with that reading.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
It's the book of Habakkuk
I
chapter.
missed
It's the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set upon me the tower. We and will watch to see what will he say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the other one Yahweh answered me and said, Write this vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that read it.
That he may run that read it. So hey, what we did, we read the scriptures and we ran to the highways and hedges. We came swiftly. Hey, damn, the time is at hand. We gotta keep making moves, man, before the time runs out. Same thing happened with the brothers reading in the article about those runners, the Taino runners. So that
She sent runners to find someone in the church who will listen. Why she chose the church, we'll never know.
And who was that church? Hey, real quick, Acts 7 and 37. This is the church that was in the wilderness.
7:37.
So there was a question. Why did she choose that church? And supposedly nobody knows, but now we know who that church was, man. Because in that time, those Puerto Ricans, those are Israelites. They knew who they were.
This is the book of Acts chapter 7 verse 38. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angel, which spake to him in Mount Sinai, and with our fathers, who received the lively oracles to give unto us.
And what tribe was there in the church, bro? Ephraim. To Joseph. Yahusab, Aparayam. So going back to the article there, that church represents the Israelites, man.
Why she chose the church? Why she chose the church, we'll never know.
Hey, but we know.
But a monk named Jose Maria Nazario and Cancel came to her bedside. With this elder revealed to this monk changed the historical narrative of our precious island.
Yeah.
There, in her tiny bohio, thatched roof home, the monk interceded for the old woman's healing. Then she told him her family's secret, a secret that went back to the time of Caquia Aguaybana, the principal chief of Boriquen, the Taino island name for Puerto Rico, which means the house of the great and valiant Lord.
Yeah, it also means not only Barak, but Bayath wa Baal, house of Lord.
Her secret revealed where to find a hidden stash of stone figurines inscribed with strange symbols and carvings.
So she hid him, bro. An example of that too. You don't have to get it, but in the book of Esdras, there was an account when Esdras was commanded to fast 40 days, and he had to hid it and hide the books.
Hide the books, yeah.
And it's the same thing right here. Our custom as a people, and we gotta hide certain stuff or gatekeep certain stuff from a lot of people out there, man, because they come, they read it, and they take advantage. They do something called iconoclasm. They try to switch everything upside down.
The secret revealed where to find a hidden stash of stone figurines inscribed with strange symbols and carvings of an ancient people that some call the Hibaro.
Ibaro, what does that mean? Ibaro. What does it sound like?
Ibero.
Ibar. Hebrew.
Yeah.
Hebrew. Ibaro.
Hibaro.
Yeah.
Who had lived in the mountains of the island and still had descendants who call themselves by this name to this day.
Come on, man. Ibaro. Hebrew. Ibar. We had a forefather called, you want to get it at? Just type in Ibar in the KJV. Let's see what comes out. Because, hey, Esau, he's a bro. Esau, he's a Hebrew. Moab, he's a Hebrew. They all came from the lineage of Ibar too. But through Ibar, he gave, I believe after Ibar, that was Peleg. I'm trying to get the history, but Ibar, what it means is that the people, the mountains, or the people from the far east, from the other side of the world, man. That's what the word Hebrew means. And if you made too, bro, a blue letter Bible for the word Ibar, Hebrew. And we also got the book of Hebrews, the people of Ibar, of the far Middle East.
First Chronicles chapter 3 verse 6. Ibar also and Elishama and Eliphelet.
Eliphaz?
Eliphet.
Ibar Aslak, bro, that's not the one. Go back. It should be in Genesis. Ibar. No H. Just, yeah. Ibar. Yeah, Genesis. You know what? Salakia, bro. Eber, which there's no.
Eber. Okay.
Yeah, Eber. Yeah, Eber, or because in the Hebrew it's Ibar, but in the without the Hebrew it's Eber.
Yeah. And unto Eber,
Yeah.
Genesis chapter 10 verse 25. And unto Eber were born two sons.
Yeah.
The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan.
Okay, now go to the blue letter Bible and go to the word Eber, which there's no E in the ancient Hebrew, so there's a Ibar, which is a Hebrew. Okay. Ibar, Ibar Yashar Allah, that's what it is. Hebrew principality. And that's what the scripture says, study to show yourself approved. We don't just come out here and just speak. No, we study, man. We study the scriptures. Okay, we study to show ourselves approved and edify our nation so they can know who they are in these last days. Saying you're Mexican, Puerto Rican, saying Latino. Nah, man, that's a curse. Calling yourself after your oppressor's title, man. That's wicked.
Eber, or Heber, the region beyond.
Region beyond, yeah.
Son of Salah, great grandson of Shem, father of Peleg and Joktan, a Gadite chief, Benjamin, son of Ilfa'ah, and descendant of Sharahaim.
Try to read the Strong's definition. Right there.
Eber, the same. Eber, the name of two patriarchs and four Israelites. Eber, Heber.
And then now go one more. Go here. Go now into the root word right there. What does it say? So the root word for Eber, Ibar también. Read the outline, biblical usage.
Outline, region beyond or across, side, region across or beyond, side, opposite side.
Opposite side, the people of the far side, which is the Middle East, Israel, the land of Eden.
Yeah, Strong's is side, beyond, straight, passage, by, from, other, against, over, quarter.
And when you're a people from the other side, when you come to the Western Hemisphere, you're known as what? What they call, small hats call us Goyim, or in the Hebrew, Gayaryim, which means a foreigner or an alien. So hey, going back to the breakdown of the article, okay, again, people call themselves Hibaru, or Hebrews. Ibarium, okay, Israelites. The yam at the end of the ancient Hebrew makes it plural. You're good with your battery? So see, so right now we're going into the lesson of how so-called Native Americans and Latinos, starting with the tribe of Ephraim, so-called Puerto Ricans, they are the true lost tribes of Israel who were scattered mainly here in the Americas, known as Arsareth.
There you go. Nazario had been educated at the University of Salamanca. His studies had included ancient languages, and he was amazed at what he saw. After comparing the writing on these stones to others from around the world, he came to his conclusion. This writing was a form of ancient Hebrew.
Ancient what?
Ancient Hebrew.
Let's get three precepts. So, hey, the professor out there in Puerto Rico from the University of, what was it?
Salamanca.
Salamanca. Okay, he studied those artifacts, and he came to the conclusion that they were a language known as the Hebrew, the ancient Hebrew. So we're gonna get three precepts. The first one, let's get the prologue of Esdras or Sirach. Let's get to the point, utterance in Hebrew, and then we're gonna get the one in Acts 26 when Apostle Paul spoke to Yahushua, and Yahushua replied back in the Hebrew tongue, and then we'll try to get one more after that.
This is the prologue of Ecclesiasticus chapter 1. Wherefore let me entreat you to reading it with favor and attention, and to pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of some words, which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew,
In Yiddish,
in Hebrew,
in Aramaic,
and Hebrew,
in Hebrew, go ahead.
and translated into another tongue has not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language.
Yeah, that's what we don't call them Most High. Most High. You know, sometimes we call him as a title, but we say the Most High Yahweh. See, and his son Yahushua. That's the ancient Hebrew. Okay, now let's get Acts 26 and an example when Apostle Paul and Yahushua spoke in the Hebrew tongue.
This is the book of Acts chapter 26 verse 14. And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me and saying in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? Is it hard for thee to kick against the pricks? And I said, Who art thou, Adawan? And he said, I am Yahushua, who thou persecutest.
So Paul, not only was he raised as a Roman citizen, Pharisee, what else, a soldier, but he was raised in the customs of, again, the Pharisees, the law. But he spoke not only the Latin, but he also spoke Hebrew. See? So he was a very studied man. So when he communicated with the Yahushua, they spoke Hebrew. See that? And also to further prove that he's a Hebrew Israelite, you don't have to get the precepts, but there's two, Second Chronicles, Second Corinthians 11:22, and Romans, the 11th chapter, it says, Apostle Paul, he's a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin, a descendant of Abraham.
Corinthians chapter 11 verse 22.
Yep.
Are they Hebrews? So am I.
Yep.
Are they Israelites? So am I.
And who's this speaking, bro?
Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I.
It's Apostle Paul.
Apostle Paul to the Corinthians.
Corinthians, which are Israelites.
The Israelites that were scattered to the four corners of the earth.
Yeah. Let's try to get one more on. Just type in Hebrew language, KJV, and something, precept in the Old Testament. See what comes out. Should be one in either Kings or Malachi, somewhere around there.
Hebrew in the Old Testament.
Yeah, let's see what comes out. Just type in Hebrew or the Jewish language, the Jew language, or the tongue of the Jew.
Showing Hebrews.
Type in Jewish language. I think it should be in either Kings or somewhere around the prophets. Nehemiah. Yep.
This is Nehemiah,
Yep.
chapter 13, verse 24. And their children speak half and the speech of Ashdod, and cannot speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of the people each people.
The Jews language that goes into the Hebrew, because the Southern Kingdom mainly they're known as Jews. Collectively, all Israel were unto Jews, because we come, okay, out of the lineage of King David. King David had Solomon. After Solomon, he had a son. I believe that was Rehoboam. But there was also another Israelite who was the king of Israel, Rehoboam. Rehoboam and Jeroboam.
There you go. One is with the
Rehoboam,
J and one with the R.
I believe Jeroboam, that was an Ephraimite. And Rehoboam, that was the son of King Solomon, right? I believe so.
I always get confused with those two.
I try to get, if you may, brother, Malachi 1 and 10. So I remember I broke it down. Jeroboam, J for Joseph, Ephraim, and Rehoboam, Judah. Let's see, Malachi 1 and 10. That's a lot. That's not right there. Yeah, I tried to type it down this time. Or just type in the history of, just type in Rehoboam and Jeroboam and see what comes out. So after the death of King Solomon, which was around 950, give or take, BC, the kingdom was split, okay, through Rehoboam, Jeroboam. They were wicked, you know. The tribes went with some of them went with David, and the other ones went with
Rehoboam is the one for Judah, and Jeroboam is the one for Israel.
Ephraim. So I was right in the spirit, you know. Jeroboam, Joseph, Ephraim, and Rehoboam, Judah. See, so that's the history, man. How the last time the 12 tribes were actually together was in the time of King Solomon. But after King Solomon died after 40 years, wicked Israelites came on the scene.
Well, it was part of. He was gonna separate it because Solomon went off because he started following the customs of his concubines and his wives when they started building temples for their gods.
Oh, like the different churches.
So that's why he split it up.
Okay,
And then what's it called? And then also his son didn't listen to the elder; he listened to the younger one.
That was Rehoboam. Rehoboam's the one that listened. Okay.
He didn't listen to the elder. But the elder, he came up to the elder and told him, "Oh, what should I do?" It's like, hey, give them what they're asking. Break off the yoke of the heavy labor that your dad gave him. But then instead of him listening to the elder, he listened to the younger. Like, now give him like harder labor. And they were like the 10 tribes that were out.
I believe there's a history too where there was a garment and they cut it down in 10 pieces, and they put 10. It's like, here, you keep 10 and you keep the other 2, which really is kind of like 9.5.
Yeah, it was one of the prophets who went to Jeroboam. Told him that.
Was it Nathan? No, right?
I think it was. Yeah, it was a prophet, but I don't know if it was Nathan. It was another prophet. But yeah, he cut it. He cut the garment. He was like, here, 10 are going to be yours. The other 2 are going to be from Judah.
Yeah, the reason I said 9.5 tribes, because the scriptures speak about the 10 lost tribes. Technically, it's 9.5 because if you have 10 lost tribes, but there's other 3 tribes, that would be 13 tribes. But the tribe of Levi didn't receive an inheritance. He was scattered amongst the various tribes, man. So
the Heavenly Father, how about Shemi Oshai, is his inheritance. So
Yeah.
everything that all the other tribes would like pretty much
like sacrifice,
they will get that.
yeah, like the 10%,
10%, all that.
and stuff like that.
And then
So
they will get their own land too for everybody in their own inheritance. When they got divided, they had to get their own land for the Levites. They had to get also,
yeah, because when we came to the Americas, there was Levites amongst us too, which are the so-called Haitians, and that's a spirit. Because now when we go to Mexico, there's a lot of Haitians that are that mingle amongst Issachar.
Yeah, even the last on the Bible when they speak about what happened to the tribe of Dan, and I think it was in the book of Judges, they even took a Levite with them.
It's not a zoo, miss. It's not a zoo. It's not a zoo.
Why are you taking our pictures?
The zoo's over there in downtown. She was probably one of those chicks that her husband or a friend is from IUIC, and they see him wearing all purple. You know. So hey, let's go back to the article. Hey, this article's mighty.
Yeah. Nazario had been educated at the University of Salamanca. His studies had included ancient languages, and he was amazed at what he saw. After comparing the writing of these stones to others from around the world, he came to his conclusion. This writing was a form of ancient Hebrew. Because of his religious background, this fueled the possibility that a remnant of the lost tribes of Israel has settled on this land.
Yeah, there you go, man. Let's get the breakdown, huh? Real quick. Second Ezra 13. Let's get straight to the point. With Salmanasar, right? And how long does it take to get to Middle East, to the Americas through ships in ancient times? 18 months, which is a year and a half. And to further prove that too, when King Solomon would send his Marines to the Americas to collect, exotic animals, stones, it took them 3 years, right? 18 months over here, 18 months back, that's what, 36 months. How many years is that? 3.
Right. The book of Second Ezra, chapter 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea, the king from Salmanasar, the king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwells.
And still to this day, bro, you see a lot of Northern Kingdom tribes who don't like the oppression that they're having in the Latin American countries. Like tribe of Zebulon, they don't want to be there, so they try to come with Issachar. Issachar doesn't want to be there, so they come to Babylon. They come to Babylon with the American dream, and they go back, out there in the Americas, man.
That they might keep their
Statues.
Yeah, that they might there keep their statues there, which they never kept in their own land, and they enter into Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood.
Yeah, so amongst the tribe of Ephraim, there was a tribe called the tribe of Issachar. Issachar was responsible to guide the tribes to the Americas through the knowledge of reading the signs. First Chronicles 12 and 32, right? It speaks about how Issachar was able to read the signs to tell Israel what to do.
For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
18 months. Right?
And the same region was called Arsaret.
Arsarat, man. Which is paradise, or also where man hasn't dwelt. What it means is that man hasn't conquered. Okay, because man already dwelt here. Like we were breaking it down. King Solomon sent the Marines, different heathen nations will come over here, get exotic animals, and carve their big old stones, big old omelet heads, stuff like that. But really nobody has conquered this land until the lost tribes came, and they started building their the pyramids. We started going off, building pyramids and different churches. Okay, different sacrifices that our people did, and they started becoming more wicked, and that's when the curses came. You want to get that real quick out in the curses? Deuteronomy 28 and 64. The Lord shall send you into Egypt again through ships.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68.
And these are the curses. Go ahead.
And the other one, Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondman and bondwoman.
And that happened with the Northern Kingdom tribes in what year? Around early 1400s all the way to early 1500s.
Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondman and bondwoman.
And that's still happening, huh? Here in the border, the borderline, our people are being sold via black market.
Actually, I sent a video in the group chat when there was a pickup U-Haul truck, and it was kind of open, and they found kids inside it.
Oh shit! Yeah, Northern Kingdom kids.
I don't know. It was in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, as Jake right there. Yeah. Also that movie, I haven't seen it, but brother spoke about it out there in Colombia with Asher. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they talk about like the human trafficking amongst the little kids.
God's children, something like that. It's a really good movie. I saw it.
Yeah, man, because our people, matter of fact, last week I was reading about human trafficking and organ harvesting, bro. Like the reason why human trafficking is a multi-billion-dollar industry, bro, is because our people, when they study the brain, the heart, we have the healthiest organs. So they want us young, so they use those young organs to implant them in somebody that's like empowered. Somebody that lost a kidney, a heart, some eyes, whatever it is, man. I was also reading that a whole human body, when you're 12 years old to 18 years old, you're worth at least like $10 million, bro. You know, eyes cost like million. You know, a heart costs like 2 million.
I remember I saw this movie when I was young. It's about this, a couple Esau people. They go to Brazil, and they're getting snatched up by a doctor. The
Oh,
doctor
shit.
even says like, yeah, well, like he's like doing surgery. He's like, yeah, I'll be having you rich white people coming over here to Brazil.
Yeah.
Since you guys have the money, so you want us to snatch up, our Brazilian people, so we can sell our organs to them. But I do this to you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they do, bro. Yeah. Hey, that's why it tells you in the scriptures, that Israel shall dash the heathen upon the stones, the little ones, man. Just like you did to our little ones, you feed them to crocodiles.
Yeah.
You,
They
you,
even posted it and put it on postcards and stuff like that.
you split us into in half through horses. That's where you get the whole brand of Levi. You know, the fact that the word Levi means y'all join onto me, and then you have a horse going this way and then the other way. Go ahead, I'll keep reading.
So look at Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the other one, Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondman and bondwoman, and no man shall buy you.
Yeah, man. So, and we haven't seen Egypt. See, the ancient Egypt, but now we're seeing the modern day Egypt, and we always bring it out, man. How you know we're in modern day Egypt? Just look behind your dollar bill. Why in the world is there a fucking pyramid of Egypt, Gaza? Okay, here in the Americas, man. Not only that, but on the bottom it has Roman numerals,
Has Latin.
has a Latin language, has Latin, Greek,
It's all
Egyptian.
confusion right
Hey, that's Babylon, bro.
Confusion.
Fucking confusion. And on the right you have an eagle with 13 feathers and the arrows and the little owl on the corner and shit. And then it says on top, "In God we trust." And then you ask them, what God are you talking about? Well, that has the gold, oil, drugs. Esau's blessing, bro. You know, in wickedness. That's what these people worship, man. Gold, oil, drugs. Fucking pharmacy is drugs. Pharmakia, witchcraft, sorcery. That's what that means, man. So, hey, a lot of these people, the reason why the Lord's gonna bring this kingdom down is because it's full of sorcery. It's very wicked. So let's keep reading. Let's go back to the article. See what comes out. More meat.
In 1893, Nazario wrote a short article titled Escritura.
Where was it? 1893.
1893.
Okay.
In 1893, Nazario wrote a short article titled Escritura Aborigen del Caribe, Aboriginal Writing of the Caribbean, in which he explained his interpretation of these carvings. After a thorough analysis of the stones and their inscriptions, he dismissed.
There's a Puerto Rican flag right there on this car.
Oh, nice.
On the blue car, there's a Puerto Rican flag.
He dismissed an Arawak Taino language origin, and by 1897 he concluded that the writings were more reminiscent of ancient Hebrew. Comparing this discovery with the spoken Taino language of his days, Nazario discerned words in the Taino Arawak language. There were Semitic in origins and pronunciation.
Semitic, that's where we get the word Shemitic, Shem. Go ahead,
One example is the Taino name from the supreme spirits of spirits, Yah, Yah.
Come on now, let's get Psalms 68 and 18, I believe. 68, 18, or 17?
Psalm 68.
Yeah, 68 and 18. Because the Yah and the prefix Yah means he. 68, 18. Let's try 17 on. Verse 17. Psalm 68 and 17. Also. Let's see. 68 and 17. Bro. Type in Psalms and then Yah, KJV. Hey, that's to further prove that the Puerto Ricans, they call the Mosai Yah, or he, or he is Yahweh.
Says 68 and 4.
68 and 4, yeah, that's the one. And then after that one, there's one more too, and that should be in Exodus, I believe.
The book of Psalms, chapter 68, verse 4. Sing unto Yahweh, sing praise to his name, extol him that rideth upon the heavens, by his name Yah.
you go.
and rejoice before him.
By his name, Yah. So Yah is a prefix, which means he. That's why when the Most High, he spoke with Moses, and then Moses asked him, "Hey, what's your name?" He said, "I am that I am." But when you really break it down, he says, he is. I am. He is, because he is. The book of Sirach 17, it says that the elect shall praise his holy name, and his holy name, Rakah Sham. Holy means Rakah in the Hebrew. Sham means name. Rakah Sham Yahweh. The name of Yahweh, his holy name. Right? So we're gonna go back to the article and break down the tribe of Parayam.
One example is the Taino name for the supreme spirits of spirits, Yah. By comparison, the God of the monotheistic Hebrew culture is known by the abbreviated form of his sacred name, Yah.
Yeah, abbreviated because there's something called the Tetragrammaton. When they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, the name of Yahweh was encrypted with the Y. I believe it was YHWH. And when you break it down, the H in Hebrew, it will say Yah, Ha, and then the Wa. And it's crazy because when you even go even deeper into the name Yahweh in the hieroglyphics, it's one man
That's
like
like
that,
this.
yeah. And there's on the right it's like a snake. On this side, which is the snake, it's symbolic to Yahweh Shai, John 3rd chapter, the bronze snake. And then on the other side, there's another man going like that, which those two men, that's Southern Kingdom, Northern Kingdom, raising up your hands to the Most High. That has, come on, man.
Modern day Taino people say that.
So, like, one more thing too. When King Solomon, he prayed to the Most High Yahweh, he faced the east, and it says that he was on his knees with his hands to the sky, bro. Come on now.
Modern day Taino people say that Kakia Aguevana kept this collection of inscribed stones safeguarded on the island and then buried them, fearing that the Spanish conquistadores might find them.
Yeah, and why is that? Because he understood, if you may, brother, that should be in Proverbs where it speaks about to not destroy the land, the stones of your forefathers.
Yeah.
And because Jake knew, bro, was like, man, if I don't hide these, Esau's gonna come and destroy them just like he did in the temple of the Maccabees. He burned the books, the artifacts, the temple. Hey, never trust an enemy. And Jake followed that commandment. I can't trust my enemy, man, because they might find the relics or keep them and then sell them to us again in 1,000 years or something, man. Because that's how Esau makes his profit, man. By John 10:10, the thief coming not but for to kill and destroy, man. So hey, never trust a so-called white man. Okay, Esau eat them.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 28. Do not move an ancient boundary stone set up by your ancestors.
There you go, man. That's a commandment. Let's get one more out. There's one, I think, joke to back up that precept. Yeah, because what the white man did when he came and conquered the Americas, he saw a lot of our relics, our artifacts, and he destroyed them, man. That's why you gotta hide it. Gotta hide your shit from the white man. Okay, your possessions. Gonna come and steal them, sell them. Everything you see, like the gold here that they sell, the jewelry stores, that belongs to the Hebrew Israelite man. Silver, yeah, Yahweh Shai said, the gold and silver is mine. It's not a joke, bug?
I mean, I got one that came out from Jeremiah.
Yeah, it's good Jeremiah too.
Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16. Thus say the outer one Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way? And walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they say, we will not walk therein. No, that's not.
It's a good one too.
Which comes up with Proverbs. There's another one in Proverbs. Remove not old landmarks and enter.
Bring that one too.
Yeah. The book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 10. Remove not the old landmark and enter not into the fields of the fatherless.
Yeah, man, we were once fatherless. We didn't have Yahweh, man. So Esau knows that. He's like, oh, now it's time to break inside the house because the man of the house ain't there. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to kidnap your kids. See, and still to this day, our people are getting kidnapped. Sold to different nations. And that's wicked. That's why the Most High is gonna have to get rid of Esau.
Oh, there you go. This is the book of Job, Job chapter 24, verse 2. Some remove the landmarks, they violently take away flocks and feed thereof.
You want to start a verse before that, on?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a very important scripture, man. Landmarks, the artifacts.
The book of Job, chapter 24, verse 1. Why? Seeing times are not hidden from the Almighty. Do they that know him not see his days? Some remove the landmarks. They violently take away flocks and feed thereof.
Esau does that. Go ahead.
They drive away the asses of the fatherless. They take the widow's ox for a pledge. They turn the needy out of the way. The poor of the earth hid themselves together.
There you go.
Behold, a wild ass is a desert. Go they forth to their work. Rising betimes for a prey. The wilderness yield food for them and for their children.
That's beautiful, man. Speaking about Esau, man, trying to always come up with Jake, trying to steal his resources, trying to steal our identity, our food culture. Here you go. We're heading into Cinco de Mayo. We don't even celebrate that shit. And you have Esau out there drinking mimosas and carne asada burrito.
Say happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, and behind our backs, they're all talking shit about us.
Yeah.
Fucking hypocrites.
Just another day for them to get drunk.
Yeah, exactly. Let's party it up.
The remaining hidden in the earth for over 400 years until the dying Taino elder Juan Morales told Nazario about the stones and where to find them. It was well known on the islands that Juan Morales was the last descendant of principal chief Aguayabana. Her story is still told among the mountain people in the interior of the island who still identify as Jibaro, a word that in Taino means people of the mountains.
People of the other side. Beautiful.
But which bears a strange resemblance to the word Hebrew.
There you go.
During the 19th and 20th century, Aguayabana library had been exhibited to the public several times and examined by experts, scholars of high reputation, who speculated that the writing was a form of Hebrew. Many scholars agree these cannot be a
Forgery.
forgery.
So we get the word false.
Forgery. Some even theorize that the writing predated the Mayan and Inca writing system. In 2012, interest gained traction, and by 2019, it had pickled global curiosity in the Middle East. New tests were done using spectrometry and X-ray
High technology. Yeah.
diffraction in Israel. This fascinating
So
story.
they took those artifacts to Israel, the Middle East.
These fascinating stories came to the attention of the Sidman Institute of Archaeology at the University of Haifa. Dr. Iris Borban Yaroslavsky.
Yeah, he part of the Ukrainian. Yaroslavsky.
Yeah,
Part of Russian.
Yaroslavsky did molecular analysis on 20 of these stones. The doctor's results, based on the pentanal, revealed that these rocks were not forgeries. The results verified what many scholars had theorized. This added to mounting evidence about the origins of the writing.
You know, sometimes when we go into, for example, the book of Timothy, it speaks about science, falsely so-called. But not all science is wicked. You know, there's science that Esau uses to identify certain carbon footprint. So sometimes science is righteous. We use it for righteousness, for history, that's okay. When we use science for wickedness, it's not okay. So let's go back to the article again.
The stones are inscribed in a language script previously unknown to linguistics. With expertise in phonetic Phoenicians and Proto-Hebrew, experts linguists decipher the writing to be a mixture of Hebrew with a little bit of Phoenician and unknown script.
So like, hold that, go to the book of Acts, and just type in to the unknown God. Because sometimes throughout time, man, you know, the ancient Hebrew has been trying to get altered with the, you know, like Esau has something called the Yiddish. Modern day Hebrew mixed with German and here and there, but that's why in the times of the book of Acts, the Israelite Gentiles, the Israelite foreigners, they would call the Most High the unknown God because they were ignorant of the name of the Most High.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 22. Acts chapter 17, verse 22.
Mhm.
Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hills and said, Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious.
Yeah, so the men of Athens, they were very superstitious. What are examples of superstitious? Black cat walking in front of you.
Oh, you gotta spit.
You gotta spit.
Or don't step on the cracked lines in the concrete.
Or salt, don't drop the salt. Or bad luck. Or go under the ladder.
Oh yeah, go around the ladder, don't go past the ladder.
So these are examples of superstitious. So our people in the time of Acts, they were superstitious. Go ahead.
Verse 23, For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription, To the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship, him declare I unto you.
Yeah, so there's a lot of our people, like even Muslims, Christians, Catholics, who worship the Most High, but not according to knowledge. Like it tells in the book of, you probably know it,
They have seal, but
not according to knowledge. So, hey, sometimes, the Most High, he gets like, damn, he calls me Yahweh, Jehovah. It's cool, but if you're of the elect, you're going to call upon his real name, Yahweh. So that's why we're patient with our people, they still call upon Jesus Christ. And then they kind of like, what was it, Yahweh? Yahweh She? Yahweh Shai? So, hey, we got to be patient with our people, man. So even in the times of Acts, our people call the Most High the unknown God. All right, go ahead, huh?
Yahweh that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is the out of one Yahweh of heaven and earth, dwelling not in temples made with hands. Neither is worship with man's hands, as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth to all life and bread and all things. And had made of one blood all nations of man, for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and had determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation.
In other words, the Most High, he already set everything up. Just like he set up those stones, the artifacts that were found in Puerto Rico, he already knew that was going to happen, and now he's making them being exposed in the last days to our people. That's proof that we're Israelites. Go ahead.
That they should seek the out of one Yahweh, if happily they might feel after him and find him, though he be not far from every one of us. For in him we live and move and have our being. As certain also of your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring. For as much then as we are the offspring of Yahweh, we are not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold,
an
or
idol,
silver, or stone, graven by art and man's device.
Yeah, a lot of our people yearly they go to the Muslims out there with the stone, the cube stone.
Yeah.
Go to church, they bow down to the Virgin Mary. I seen this funny ass video, bro, where there's this it was a big ass flood in this like a national seat or something. It wasn't here, it was out there in Latin America, and there was this jig on his bike, and he had an idol behind him with a backpack, and he's getting videotaped, and they kind of like honk at him. He turns around and he crashes towards the car, and the idol goes flying. It breaks down. Like that idol doesn't have no power, bro. If it had power, it would have just flew. Stop. I ain't gonna break. Hey, idols don't have power, man.
Verse 30, and the times of this ignorance Yahweh winked at, but now commanded all man everywhere to repent.
Yeah, there's no excuse why you don't know the name of the Most High Yahweh and his name Yahweh Shai, his son's name.
Because he had appointed a day, and the which he will judge the world in righteousness by that man who he had ordained, Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
Whereof he had given assurance unto all men, and that he had raised him from the dead.
Beautiful, bro. So let's go back to the article. If brothers have any scriptures, hey, share them on the chat. Baba Kushat. Somebody said, "Happy Pesach." Well, we already celebrated the Passover last month. Want to get Colossians, dog, real quick? Colossians. Just type in the shadow of things to come. So there's gonna be brothers that celebrate the Pesach in the month of April or even May. But us Akim, we celebrated according to the Hebrew calendar back last month, the month of March. What was it, March 14th to the 21st?
Yeah.
So that's the date of our Pesach. So if you celebrate the Pesach this month, the book of Judges, it says we are rehearsing the righteous acts, man.
It's the book of Colossians chapter 2 verse 17, which are a shadow of things to come.
Want to Salakia, a verse before that and then get into that 17.
Verse 16, Colossians chapter 2, verse 16.
So we can't condemn brothers that celebrated, this month, and we're practicing. Go ahead.
Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of holy day.
You see that? The Pasach, that's the holy day, right? Go ahead.
Or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Yahweh Shai.
There you go, brother. So Israel Grace, hey, happy Pasach to you, brother. Go ahead, back to article. How much more we need on that? We gotta give it like 10 more minutes.
Yeah, it came out.
And then after we finish the article, let's go into the other one and just show like a brief video and then go into various points and then close down Ken.
The stones are described in a language script previously unknown to linguistics, with expertise in Phoenician and Proto-Hebrew. Experts in linguistics decipher the writing to be a mixture of Hebrew, with a little bit of Phoenician and an unknown script. Using carbon 14 tests on the red paint found on the stones, they have been dated to approximately 900 BC.
That was the time of King Solomon.
That is the time when King David's son Solomon sent out ships from Tarsus throughout the world to collect resources like bronze and gold.
Come on now.
Did some of these Hebrew sailors discover this island during their travels? Will history be rewritten to include this fascinating new evidence?
Yeah, Puerto Rican fan. Jake, bro.
Were the people who inscribed these ancient stones part of the scattered tribes of Israel as records in the Bible? The Hebrews shared their language, traditions, and customs with the native island people. Is that why several Native American tribes from the southeast,
tribe of Gad, Reubenites,
and Caribbean islands share much of Israel spiritually found in the Torah? Only time and more testings will tell all this enigmatic hidden history of Borique.
It says right there, read it one more time, where it says only time and the appointed.
Only time and more testing will tell.
Only time and more testing. Habakkuk, the second chapter. For the time is yet to be appointed.
Wait
for it, man. So the Mosai is not just revealing prophecy, but he's revealing history, man.
The state of Israel has acknowledged a Hebrew presence in our ancient mountains in times long past, and we, the good and noble people, the Latinos.
It says the good and noble people. Hey, the Lord said we're a noble priesthood.
The Taínos send our warmest regards and blessings to our long lost cousins. Or are we the long lost ones?
Bam, the lost ones. Hey, Yahushua said, go into the lost sheep of the house of Israel, the lost ones. Yeah, come on now, man. Hey, we gotta be the Israelites, man. If it ain't us, then who is he?
Like Job. To get the second article?
Yeah, second article.
Dismissed as fake for a century. Enigmatic Puerto Rican stones could rewrite history.
How long is a century? 100 years. So the artifacts, the research of the stones, they were dismissed for 100 years, right? And then Ramos came on the scene. You want to play the video briefly and share it to the live stream? Let's see what comes out. I believe that's like a minute, right? That it takes. Nothing more than a minute, 30 seconds. Is that a microchip?
A la primera evidencia concreta que tenemos de un sistema de anotación precolombino en Puerto Rico sería un nuevo.
So this is Professor Ramos.
En las Américas, donde no existe nada parecido a esto, y yo creo que abonaría elementos para algo que nosotros llevamos viendo hace tiempo, y es el hecho de que las sociedades indígenas de Puerto Rico y el Caribe tenía un conocimiento mucho más complejo del que nosotros le habíamos atribuido previamente. O sea, el hecho de que ya ellos estuvieran dominando el sistema, que estuviera documentando o codificando.
43 seconds. That's good, actually. That's good. Did you get any points that he was saying?
I was saying we're here because I was putting it close to it.
Go to back to that article where he was speaking and just try to get to the point. Read it and then I'll try to bring it out. He goes into how there was professors from Harvard that tried to hide it, something like that.
In this article, the second one.
The other one.
Oh,
The one where you were showing the video. But again, hey, Puerto Ricans are the lost tribes of Israel, man. Aparayam, Ephraim, the Ephraimitas. And Lord willing, next week we go into Gad and then like that Issachar.
when Puerto Rican archaeologist Reniel Rodriguez Ramos first stumbled onto the collection in 2001, the artifacts were so unappreciated that one was being used as a drop stop. These stones were considered garbage. Rodriguez recalls.
According to Esau,
They were getting no love.
So-called white man, he treats our artifacts that are very important to us like garbage. Okay? And like you say, one man's garbage is another man's diamond.
Another man's treasure.
Treasure, water.
These stones were considered garbage. Rodriguez recalls they were getting no love from any institution or even any archaeologist in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
But now the rocks known as Las Piedras de Padre Nazario or Father Nazario stones are undergoing a radical reevaluation.
Okay.
Not only is there growing evidence that they are genuine, authentic antiquities, there are also clues that they might represent a lost language, a finding that could rewrite the island's pre-Columbian history.
So there's more history even before Columbus came on the scene, man.
Standing in his cramped lab at the University of Puerto Rico, Utando campus, Rodriguez puts one of these stones under a magnifying glass and describes the figure he sees, chiseled into its surface. It seems to be the profile of a man wearing something akin to a turban. Lines,
It's a turban, huh? A turban would be the thing on your head, around your head.
lines curving around the stone's surface are poked with small symbols. Rodriguez has identified about 20 symbols that repeated across the more than 300 stones he studied. Initially, he thought the angles and sloping lines might be astronomical information, a guide to the cosmos.
Astronomical. Want to get real quick? Issachar, First Chronicles 12 and 32. Because you got to understand, even amongst the so-called Puerto Ricans, you had Issachar with them. You had Zebulon. You got Mayas, the Incas, the Aztecs, Native Americans.
This is the book of First Chronicles chapter 12, verse 32. And of the children of Issachar.
Issachar, what does Issachar mean? Yashashkar, he is hired. So-called Mexicans, you're from the tribe of Issachar. Go ahead on.
Which were men that had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do. The heads of them were 200, and all their brethren were at their commandment.
See, so Issachar received the blessing. Really, all the northern tribes received a blessing to study astronomical numbers. Okay, which means amplified numbers. Go ahead on.
Okay. It's a system of annotation, not a decoration. Rodriguez said, handling a stone. It is a commercial or spiritual annotation. It is it a registry of names? We do not know yet, but it's something revolutionary in the Americas.
And that's very interesting, mysterious, because even though they found that it was ancient Hebrew, they still haven't deciphered really what it says, because it's kind of like bent down, but they still got to kind of decipher what it means. They probably already know, but they're hiding it,
Did a historian from Ecuador find the lost treasures of the Incas in a book? Puerto Rican original inhabitants, the Taínos, left the English language a colorful array of words, including gaman, barbecue, papaya, and hurricane. And the island is scattered with carved stones known as
petroglyphs.
Yep. But there were no trace of writing language as such. The Padre Nazario stones could change that if the larger scientific community agrees with Rodriguez that they are real. The story of why the stones have been written off as fake goes back to the early 1900s. A man named Jesse Walter Fawkes,
Fuck Edomite.
born in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
I can pronounce that shit. In 1850, Fawkes was a Harvard-trained Zoologist.
He was a Harvard-trained
zoologist.
zoologist. You see that?
Zoologist. Yeah.
Or where you at?
Right there.
Okay. Fuchs was a Harvard-trained zoologist. So this is an Edomite, man. A lot of these Edomites come from Harvard. Where I was looking at the top 3 universities in the world, Harvard was number 1. Number 2, MIT, and then it was Oxford. That's where these top Edomites come from, man.
Who developed a love for archaeology and anthropology.
And what did Ramos say? Go ahead.
After the United States annexed Puerto Rican from the Spanish in 1898, the Bureau of American Ethnology commissioned Fawkes to study this new American acquisition. He started traveling the island in 1902, branching out Haiti, Cuba, and Trinidad.
They said he what?
He started traveling the island in 1902, branching out to Haiti,
Oh, Haiti. Okay.
Cuba, and Trinidad,
Right.
as he tried to understand the Arawakan culture that lived there before Columbus arriving in 1492.
So he was amongst the tribe Haiti, Levi, Simeon, Reuben. Go ahead.
On one of those expeditions, Fawkes met Jose Mario Nazario, a priest and an amateur archaeologist from Guyanilla on Puerto Rico's southern coast. Nazarino had collected about 800 of the enigmatic stones from the mountains of western Puerto Rico, and Fawkes tried to buy them for the National Museum. His offer was His offer was rebuffed, but 6 stones ended up in Smithsonian Institution and are now stored in the Faith collections. Padre Nazario considered that these hieroglyphics belongs to the ancient writing possessed by the prehistorical Puerto Ricans.
There you go,
A
man.
label for one of those stones at the Smithsonian reads, "In Nazario's collection there are several bureaus full of stones objects inscribed like these. He also has a stone slab covered with these figures, believed by Dr. Fawkes to be a fraud."
Yeah, so these different doctors, because the word doctor means to falsify. You know, a lot of these doctors, they falsify things that are real, especially if it comes from Israelite history, they falsify it. Real quick, hold that and go into the book of Job and type in forgers of lies. Forgers, lies. That's what Esau does, man. He goes into our history, he finds various important, interesting artifacts, and he dismisses the artifacts and calls them fakes or a facade, a fraud. Shit, Esau's a fraud, man. He's the most fraudulent spirit that was ever created by the Most High on the left side.
It's the book of Job, chapter 13, verse 4. "But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value."
Go into that word physician, that's where you get the word quack, which means a fake doctor, or a fake anthropologist, a zoologist, Scientology. Every study that so-called white man Esau Edom teaches to our people is all a lie, man. So let's
Fawkes' judgment.
go back to the article. Oh, so what were you
Yeah, that was it. Fawkes' judgment, powerful and definitive, shut down further research into the stones. And in academic circle, the prevailing theory was the Puerto Rican locals in the late 1800s had made a fake antiquities to depute the Spanish priests. Rodriguez said the rocks were never even mentioned when he was an archaeologist student. And while local naturalists and historians have written about the artifacts, there has not been a single page written by an archaeologist about these stones, and they've been around for 140 years, Rodriguez said. The dark cloud left by Fawkes persists when Rodriguez started to seriously study the stones again in 2011.
recently, 10 years ago?
His friends warned him he was committing academic suicide.
Yeah, they warned him because they knew that once he studies the artifacts, that's why they said academic suicide, right? Because when Esau finds out that you're studying your history, he tries to kill you off. But what did Ramos say? He responded with something very, very
Rodriguez
wise.
pushed ahead anyway. My inspiration is not to teach at Harvard. I'm here in virtuado, and that's all I care about. He said.
In other words, he said, I'm not here to teach the so-called white man. I'm here to teach my people. Like Ezra's, when he was inquiring about the wicked, the Most High told him, don't inquire about the wicked,
Okay,
but about the righteous.
Don't inquire about how the wicked will perish, but
How the righteous will be delivered.
how the righteous are gonna be saved.
So, hey, Ramos, he did a good job. That's a Jake right there, man. He's like, hey, to hell with the Harvard professors. I'm here to teach my people. See, so that's what I wanted to get that point. It was very pop. So we're gonna. You have any closing precepts on you want to bring down? Let's get Ezekiel 3:17 on. Used to prophesy the downfall of Babylon. 3:17, warn our people, and then let's get the one in Revelation. Babylon has fallen.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17.
Yep.
Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the words of my mouth and give them warning for me.
See that? So our job as men of the Lord, prophets, Yahweh wrote us out. We are the prophets. Our job is to come out here via faith and works and prophesy the downfall of Esau, Edom. But before that happens, we got to warn our people that all hell's about to break loose. And before all hell break loose, this has to come to pass. That's why there's a lot of tariffs going on, a lot of the stock market spiraling downwards. The reason for that is because Esau, he's transitioning the currency of the stock market to a new system, which is the mark of the beast system. So we get the word karagma, so we get the word the prefix for karagma, karax, and then you get graphos, which means transitioning the money system to AI technology, which is the mark of the beast, man. Now let's get Babylon has suddenly. You start at verse 1 and then go on to the point, because hey, the Lord's about to bring down Babylon, man. He's doing it systematically.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightning with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, the great is fallen.
And spiritually, we're screaming out loud to our people that Babylon, America, is falling. Go ahead.
Babylon the great is fallen. It's fallen, and it's become the habitation of devils, and to hold every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Got a little bit more on.
For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
And what is that? Why are all the nations drinking the wine of her fornication? What does that mean? That means that all nations have invested trillions of money to keep the nation of Israel, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, asleep.
And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy.
Yeah, so the reason why these nations are prospering is because of us. Every time you want to go buy something from the liquor store, you got to go with Ishmael. If you're an Israelite woman that rarely has any hair, you got to go with Moab or Ammon. You want to get a surgery or something, you got to go with Elam or Esau. Go ahead.
Verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.
Now, is that physical? We got to come out physically?
No.
Because I had this...
spiritually, mentally, pretty much separate yourself.
I had this new believer, Jake, who was telling me, hey, you should come to Puerto Rico. You should come to the different islands. And I'm like, nah, man, you got it all twisted, man. If you really believe, you're going to stay in Babylon, man, all the way to the end, if that's your lot.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
Yeah, like the brother broke it down, we got to come out spiritually, man. Spiritually mean you got to detach. It doesn't take one day off. It's a process. You got to detach slowly to the point where when this new currency takes place, you got to definitely depart, man. Depart, because like the scripture says, this is not your rest, because it will surely destroy you with the sword of destruction, man. So following the so-called white man and his mark, it ain't going to do you no good.
For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh had remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works.
Yeah.
And the cup which she had filled to her double. How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously. The book of Job, it says, while he is eating, the Most High is going to come and take him out.
Right now, bro, I was watching a video how how the stock market was falling down, and there was a scene where Trump, while all hell was breaking news on the stock market last week, he was pointing at different Edomites. He's like, "Hey, look, you made 99 billion, you made 100 million," and they were like, "Oh, clapping and shit," because really, hey, this whole stock market falling down is so the rich can get richer and the poor can be broke.
Verse 7. How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously.
It's like, luxurious, like it tells you in the book of Timothy, she that liveth in pleasure, which is symbolic to the so-called white man, that great whore, instead while she liveth. Go ahead.
So much torment and sorrow give her, for she said in her heart, I sit a queen and no widow.
And I believe there was a brother that shared this on the group chat. I think that was Brother Arakia. There was a scene where Trump is like, "Hey, nobody's gonna bring." He said something like that. Nobody's gonna bring us down. We're the greatest country that's ever lived. And that's pride, man. Go ahead.
I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow.
There you go.
Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, dead and mourning and famine. She shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the outer one Yahweh who judgeth her.
It says, a plague shall come in one day. So when you read the breakdown, you go into the book of, I think that's, you don't have to get it out, but Apostle Paul spoke about how one day with the Most High, it's like 1,000 years. So the Most High is going to bring the plagues in one day. That's symbolic to when all hell started breaking loose in America. That started around the 1920s. World War I, World War II, World War III, all the way until now. That's around 1,000 years.
And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her, and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
Oh, Salaka for that. I didn't mean that was 100 years. 1,000 years actually started during 70 AD when the Second Temple was destroyed by I think his name was Titus, and that's when the Most High started bringing down the hammer to Esau, Edom. Go ahead,
Standing afar off from the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city of Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
And how is that judgment going to come in 1 hour, Og? What they call the nuclear weapons of destruction. Because right now we have something going on, it's called trade wars, right? And after trade wars is going to be something called a physical war, World War III.
And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her.
And what are merchants, Og?
People that buy stuff.
Yeah, and that's where you get import, export, import, tariffs, pretty much. Tariffs means taxing another nation, so their goods and services could come to your country, man. And Esau raised the percentage to China. I think it was 100%. He raised it to Mexico for like he actually paused it, right, for 90 days.
Yeah.
But China, he raised it up like. But it's crazy, bro, because China ain't gonna get harmed by that. We're gonna get harmed, the consumers.
And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Yeah.
The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and thy wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious stone wood, and of brass, and of iron and marble.
In other words, these nations, they don't want to deal with America anymore. America, they say they're the greatest country in the world, right? So, make them create their own goods and services. Go ahead on.
And cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of man.
Slaves and souls of man.
And
goes into buying Israelite man, selling, putting him on the stock market. Go ahead.
And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and godly are departed from thee.
Yeah.
Thou shalt find them no more at all.
So very soon, man, the Lord's about to turn Babylon into a desolate country and into a wilderness, man. And when that happens, want to get the last precept, bud? Here's the patience of the saints. Or you either get that one too, or the one where it says, the Most High has avenged you over her. Hey, we're living in beautiful times, Akim. The Lord, He's destroying this kingdom very rapidly, man.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shai.
So hey, we gotta keep the faith in first, man. Hey, have faith unto the end. Yahushua said, "When I come back, should I see faith on earth?" He also said, woe unto him that has lost faith, for he shall not be defended, man." So hey, you gotta keep your faith, content for the faith, all the way to the end of this man's kingdom. You got anything to say? Hey, with that, we pray Camp was edifying today. Again, Latinos and Native Americans were the true lost 10 tribes of Israel. We close down by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and the Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Until next time, Lord willing, Shalom.
Shalom.
That was